Shop Clear.com and use promo code LWC20 for 20% off your first purchase, along with free shipping on orders over $30. Clear. Wash your nose.
Glad to be with you. We have oh look, CNN is talking about Supreme Court hearing arguments on emergency abortion care. So,
tell us what you really think.
Run out today. Really excited. We actually have a guest on the show, David Robinson, who is going to be releasing for the first time his exclusive report on TikTok, the interference, and just how bad it is, and the capabilities, for example, of the communist Chinese government. So this is the first time that anyone in the United States is going to be seeing this because of the vote that just passed regarding the TikTok bill. Sorry, I mean bill that included $60 billion to Ukraine and tech TikTok on there. We're talking about that. We're talking about Donald Trump. Hey, look, you can comment if you think he's right. They're claiming he's in violation of the gag order, and right away he just went to attacking the judge, the former vice president. He's got everything. And I think it's actually a pretty smart approach. Either you have to lay low and win in court, or if you think it's really an exercise in futility, then just make it all white noise, where at a certain point people just get exhausted and go, we don't care, okay, Stormy Daniels is going to say some embarrassing stuff, Donald Trump's going to say some, let's go back to what we used to care about with someone running for president. And we also have an eye on India, because the Indian Prime Minister has been roasting Islamists. I don't know if you know what's going on there in India, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, and we're looking forward to that segment, because run through, there's a lot that you won't see. That'll be in the Friday Scrapyard show for Mug Club members. So, and I love that's the lead-in to our guest.
Yes.
To our very revered guest is an Eye on India. So if at some point, and by at some point I mean during the Eye on India segment, you absolutely will see this. I don't know.
Morning, someone.
Because, well, YouTube doesn't want any of this. It's a live show.
A chance to watch MCC's arrest last night,
YouTube,
or his live, or his premiere of it.
Fine.
Are you breathing better now?
I know. I realize I don't breathe when I talk.
I had to remind you. Because a second
early
ago
this
you were
morning.
talking, and you went like that. I was like,
that.
okay.
Yeah. I learned how to take shallow breaths for a long time.
I also realized that I didn't put on any powder as well.
Oh, gross.
It should be his last video that he just posted. He posted at like 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So
yes, comment below. Leave a comment. Do you like Gerald just the way God made him?
Somebody give me a frying pan and some chicken.
Hey, light on these eyes.
That oil.
Hey, now.
Stop it.
When you hear him and you hear this song, you know him, you love him. But you mostly thank him for his service. You always thank him for his service. You can watch his comedy special, American. That's the title on Mug Club, the first comedy special there. Mr. Firestein, how are you?
Good. Yeah, please watch my special if you haven't. Watch it on Mug Club. It is demonetized on YouTube.
Morning, Joko.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it really? Come on.
Yeah, it's already demonetized.
That's probably our fault.
I'm not sure if it's because I said the R word or if, or because of my friends.
But you have the right to say the R word.
No, I have the right to do a lot of things, and I believe in that.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying what Nick said. He's like, it's your fault. You're radioactive. I'm like, I'm not the reason you got kicked out of a bar. Yeah. Sorry about that, but
well,
good thing is people can still see it.
Things happen. We made like $40, so
nice.
you know, I'm rolling in it.
I thought I saw you in the chat last night, though, Joko, or it might have been Boko. You see Michigan Constitutional Crusaders premiere early this morning.
This is a man who actually is a CEO of a malware analysis firm called
about his arrest in Bryan, Ohio.
Breaking down the entire kind of TikTok report here today he is releasing. And this has to do with things like tracking, permissions, compromised security, and data that goes straight to China. This is not a Dominion voting machine with some kind of a graph that doesn't exist. This is something that has been studied by an expert, is actively happening, so I get it. People who are anti-censorship, yep, I understand it. This is not about banning TikTok. This is about ensuring that TikTok is not effectively used, well, let's be honest, a weapon of war.
Yeah.
A weapon of war as it relates to the information.
last video.
Is
Check it out.
She's not being hired.
Some boutique falsely accused them of recording people changing.
Here, but the reason is not the real reason. She may have a point. Guess the real reason.
So I wanted to come on here and talk about something that is really starting to annoy me.
Oh,
so
Satan
I applied
on your
for
neck.
a
Got
job
it.
at
I was
TJ
thinking blonde hair.
Maxx a few weeks ago and denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in today and I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired?
Pause. Maybe because you look like Castlevania. Play.
And she was like, oh, like you just like don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had like more experience
Pause.
than you.
That's likely also true, including the realm of life experience as displayed by the upside down Satan on your neck. Play.
And, you know, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos.
Pause.
She said that wasn't the reason.
If they told you that your tattoos had nothing to do with it, they're lying. Play.
And I don't feel like that's true, but whatever, I'll
It
leave it
is.
at that. So I'm just wondering how, like, teenagers and young adults who haven't had a
Yeah,
job
the grocery store's
before,
packed.
how are they supposed to get employed if these places are only hiring people with
Without
experience?
saying tattoo. Oh, experience.
Younger people just can't get a job because they haven't worked enough. So, like, they'll deny a 16-year-old a job because they don't have enough work experience. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It almost is as if it makes perfect sense. So a 16-year-old gets denied a job for someone with more experience? Yeah. Also not Satan tattoos. And whatever it is on your arm that we can never tell, by the way. I know you want to talk about the art. It's just one big giant ink blotch.
I'm guessing it's a mistake
Yes.
that she covered up with another mistake.
Well, what I also appreciate is she had the judgment to consider that one tattoo a mistake,
Midwest.
but the others stay put.
Yeah, definitely. These ones are the good ones.
Yeah, these are the good ones. Those are the ones that made the cut. Here's how this actually works is, young people without experience have to work jobs typically that are at the bottom of the barrel so that they can work their way up. But these inevitably end up being jobs that you think are beneath you. I guarantee you there are jobs out there for you. Have you considered a foundry?
Yeah, construction sites aren't really discriminating on face tattoos.
Right. Carpentry in Haiti.
Yeah.
Cheap little fire pits.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going in earlier and earlier
Cookies.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
for the foreseeable future.
Are there no consequences for actions like, look, by the way, and I'm not anti-tattoo.
Finally
but there's
getting
a
what
big
I wanted.
difference between that
And not having to go into the fucking factory in the evening for at least a while.
consideration, especially if, I don't know, it's a sales job. And I think she mentioned TJ Maxx. Take that shit to Marshalls.
She couldn't cover her tattoos if she wore a burqa to
No,
work.
she couldn't.
It's not like she had a little sleeve or something over here. And then she had, I think, 8 piercings.
So at least I'll be able to spend some mornings with the wife.
Plus the nose ring, and I'm like,
Plus we're gonna be all weekend together in
and when I see
Pittsburgh
it,
this week.
well,
So I'll be right back.
You've made bad life decisions. You'll probably screw up the job too.
And there were undoubtedly people along the way who said, you know, you probably shouldn't get that Satan face tattoo.
Maybe her last job.
He said, okay, Mom, I forgot you knew everything. And then a few years later, the video. You made your bed. Enjoy it.
It's gonna hurt to get them removed.
I think that she maybe was a bad tattoo artist
Really?
and just can't make it in the industry. Everyone's like, no, it's not. You're terrible. You have to find another job.
Like,
Try TJ Maxx. She's like, I've been trying.
You know what it's like out there in the real world.
And she finally got dumped by her tattoo boyfriend.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't have used yourself as the blank canvas to test new work.
Don't worry, she'll get hired as a kindergarten teacher. We'll be fine.
Yes, she will.
It doesn't make any sense. What? Your skin?
Oh,
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. What? So what? We lose to young people lose to people with experience? I don't understand how those two phrases go together. It doesn't make any sense. Places of employment employ people with experience. This is where you've reached the point.
So it's TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
It's not like, no offense to anybody. You know, it's all jobs are good jobs, but it's not like
That's not true.
It's not like a job that it really requires, you know, an experience.
Not a ton, but
No,
you know,
I mean,
being
like,
nice.
can you fold a shirt?
Can you fold a shirt? Can you be presentable? No.
Can you answer questions from people who are not terrified of you?
Yes, exactly.
We often get old women in here, old, frail ladies.
Yes.
And they come in here and they're going to be afraid of you because this TJ Maxx is at a strip mall near a bus stop. And you look like a robber.
So when the Elephant Man walks in for the interview right after, she's like, oh, yeah, well, at least he's going to get the job now. He looks normal compared to this lady.
It's just always funny to me, like, don't judge a book by its cover when they focused entirely on the cover. You have decided...
They go work on the pages.
Whatsoever.
Look at my cover.
The only thing on the page is, what do they call that header that just lists the title of the book? So it's like the cover again.
She, in fact, messed up the cover once before and had to cover it up and make a new cover.
It's like if she was Treasure, the cover would say Treasure Island, and there would be blank pages except for that part that says Treasure Island. Like, I saw that on the cover, like, yeah, wait, don't judge me by my cover. It's only cover. You clearly want this to be the first thing that people see. You want to get attention from people and then bemoan them for giving you the kind of attention that you demanded. Anyway, my point is, you make mistakes, live with them. Hey, don't make the mistake of not cleaning your nose. We've talked about this as a company that we've worked with now. I've been using it for many, many years. I was glad to get them as a sponsor. Go to clear.com, xclear.com, use the promo code LWC20, and you get 20% off. Read the data there as it relates to flu, rhinovirus, even COVID. And I can say that. Think about this. I can say that it's effective at that it would be effective in reducing transmission to 90-something%. I can legally say that. You can't say that about many things. You brush your teeth, clean your nose. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Hey, unindoctrinated.
And I know you say that, but there are clinical trials that exist that say
Come
we can
on.
legally say that. Isn't that fun? We don't have to do a podcast where we say, hey, so increase your testosterone 600%. You go, do you have any papers?
American
Go
cheese
to
ball.
clear.com. All right.
Did the cap just fly off it? That was kind of funny.
The cat was enthusiastic as well.
Yeah, baby.
Like, preach it.
Put me in the nose.
I wanted to get away from face tattoo lady. I don't blame you. So, all right.
Not up that nose. There's hardware in there. Maybe if she take the diamonds out of her bull ring.
Was
Come
it
out of her lips.
Was it a diamond?
No, I have no idea. Fake the diamond.
Oh, it was a cubic zirconia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a disqualifying. All right, let's go to this really quickly. It's day 2 of the Trump trial, or day 2 of the Trump trial. Are we day 3 today, or day 2 was?
Day 2 was yesterday.
It was yesterday, so we're day 3. And there were arguments about whether Trump violated the gag order, which is kind of silly because other people are not gagged, and the media clearly is not gagged. I mean, if you want to act as though this is a sealed courtroom and you have no information, just tune into CNN for any minute at any point during the day. It's all they do. I wish I was obsessed with anything as much they're obsessed with the Trump trial.
Cheddar.
So after the court was adjourned yesterday, President Trump stepped out and... Now, typically with a gag order, you wouldn't say...
Your computer's a faggot. A faggot?
But he immediately bitched about the gag order effectively and just was throwing 7 different kinds of smoke immediately.
And by the way, this trial is all Biden. You know, this is all Biden, just in case anybody has any question. And they're keeping me in a courtroom. It's freezing, by the way. And they can put me all day
My nipples
long.
are hard.
Well, he's out campaigning. That's probably an advantage because he can't campaign. Nobody knows what he's doing. You can't put 2 pieces together. We have an unconstitutional gag order by a highly conflicted judge that should recuse himself. Very simple. Well, the schools should have never happened. What's going on in this country now should have never happened. But of course, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. We have the worst president in the history of our country, and he's the one that has us in all these different lawsuits. Thank you very much.
Boy, I hate to see him when he's not gagged.
How do you think you're going to be able to make him not speak to the public?
Yeah.
Like, if he does anything in his life, it is rage tweet.
Right, exactly.
That's the only thing.
And by the way, it's kind of brilliant. Every time he appears in front of a camera, turn it into a campaign stop effectively because they're trying to hamstring him, make lemonade out of lemons at that point. These are all valid points.
Just leans into it. I love it. He just like takes it head on because it's like, hey, don't talk about the judge. You mean that corrupt judge?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that not the purpose of the gag order?
Supposed to be 80 degrees in Pittsburgh on Sunday, I believe. High 70s on Saturday, low 70s on Friday. Supposed to get some rain, but it'll be all right.
Either there's kind of 2 approaches here. You either have to keep your head down because you know you've got it's a deadlock. Win and kind of go through the process and then take it if you're that one. it's a lost cause. You just, right from the get-go, you don't follow the orders as far as gag orders, you defend yourself, and at a certain point it becomes pointless. What they're hoping happens is Stormy Daniels will take Dan, a bunch of people will take the stand, they'll have some embarrassing personal information, and everyone will fling mud. They hope it damages Donald Trump. But the truth is, at that point, it's just all going to be a circus, and people will be exhausted with it. Donald Trump he's using the play of exhaustion. The media wants to exhaust you over this? All right, fine, he will too. By the time they get to their star witnesses, you don't care. Because inflation. You don't care. Why? Because 7.5 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border, or at least that we know of in this last year. You don't care anymore. Why? Because you probably have to work 2 or 3 jobs. You don't care anymore. Why? Because we're involved in more foreign conflict than during President Trump's history.
Well, we don't get summer as bad as you guys down there, so.
7? That's why you don't care at that point. You don't care what some
I could use the vitamin D.
Ex-porn star has to say about taxes.
I need more D.
Oh, that washed up.
Don't clip that.
Well, the courtroom's cold. They're planning ahead.
I love how he said that. The courtroom, by the way, it's cold.
The courtroom's cold. It's the only way you make those tired stormy tits presentable. Firm the epidermis. She needs it. Loose skin.
In other news, Steven Seagal's Wanda Punani is now officially 20 years old. He went through the process of recording that entire song and releasing it.
Yes.
Wait, I thought he was Russian or Japanese or Native American
Or
or
black.
black at one point.
All of those.
Oh, wow.
Look, I'm part Russian and I'm part black because I used to play blues out on the porch in Detroit. And I think that I need to do a song about how I like vaginas. It doesn't get talked about enough.
The Jamaican
They
accent.
used to call me Steven the Stoop. Yes. I would sit on the stoop with the boys. Yeah. And then I would play the blues. And then I'd talk about how much I love the punani. Bad things happen.
We know.
Donkey!
We know.
It's not a shocker.
So immediately after the judge ended that hearing,
I don't even know where my chicken is. I think it's under the seat.
I just feel like I have to read it. Okay.
Highly conflicted, to put it mildly.
All caps, by the way.
Judge Juan Merchan has taken away my constitutional right to free speech. Everyone is allowed to talk and lie about me, but I am not allowed to defend myself. Not allowed. This is a kangaroo court, and the judge should recuse himself.
I don't know how that gag order is working out.
Well, this is exactly the problem. The judge brought him in on the gag order issue because of him going to social media and putting up posts like that. So the very first thing he does, I guarantee you, he had this written beforehand, and as soon as it went boom, gavel down, he's like, boop,
Yes.
send.
Right.
Just put it right out. Like, what are you gonna do, Judge?
I've got to imagine that his lawyers they have to put makeup on the bruises on their foreheads. Because, like, okay, the key is right now, just lay low, don't say anything. He's like a child who just has to rebel in this. And by the way, I love this about him.
Yeah.
Don't say anything, don't get yourself into hot water, right? Which would typically, don't talk about Stormy Daniels, don't talk about the finance. And not only does he do all of that, he makes it all the way down the list to the temperature. It's like, don't say anything. All right, I won't say anything about this being a kangaroo court. Corrupt. You're an awful judge. She's a whore, and it's cold in here. The lawyer's going.
Exactly.
Fine.
A reset?
I mean, at least
Damn.
at that point, you can't refute one thing. At
No,
least.
you can't.
There's truth in there because everyone else.
How long is that? 10 hours?
Pretty cold in there.
10 hours off?
Right. Cutting
The
glass.
coffee was ruined.
Oh, 13 on your 70?
Is, you know what? He has a point. He has a point. You may not like his tone, but what he's saying is correct. Hit the like button if you think I should make that climate in the courtroom a little more comfortable. For
34 hour. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think that's
Fucking day and a half?
I'm a 68 to 71 guy. That's right. Yeah. I think it's
Jesus.
depending on the thermostat. Let's go to India.
Well, at least you're in California, right?
So,
Yeah. Maybe so hot.
Get some recording in.
You want the banana?
Just don't get arrested again, damn it.
we've
But
talked
then again, poor MCC got arrested yesterday for just walking down the sidewalk.
about the incompatibility of Islam
Fucking tater tot got tackled.
Western civilization. And I'm not just talking about the religion, I'm talking about the political.
Did you watch that early this morning?
So much trouble because he said actually the Quran.
I guess where you're at would have been last night.
With the Constitution, and they accused him of racism at that point. Islam is not the same as every other religion out there in that there is a very clearly defined
industrial area
prescription and system of government. Here's the thing. We're not the only ones to have highlighted this. Pretty much every country in the world that doesn't want to live under Islamic rule has come to that conclusion, which brings us to this week's Eye on India. All right.
Toolman is so happy we finally got that.
We did.
You should keep two eyes on India.
Yes.
It's been a while since we ran that.
So India, they're in the middle of right now a 6-week election, and
It's hilarious.
6
by the way.
weeks?
6 weeks. They freaking, what are you, taking up a Dominion machine with a Sherpa to get the one vote
it's a
from that guy?
huge country.
It is, but they literally make sure everybody votes. I'm not kidding.
Yep.
There's a guy I think that occupies, he's the only person in that region who will be able to vote, and they made sure he had a polling booth there. They're committed.
They are committed. Even the guy who wraps his wiener around the post stand.
He gets to vote.
Yeah,
Twice.
It's wiener yoga.
I mean, they released him right away, but it's still Lawsuitville.
We'll talk about it in a month.
Don't mess it up.
We'll definitely get
And
it.
MCC's got good lawyers. I don't know if he's got an Ohio
I
lawyer.
have this name right. It's Narendra Modi.
Voting.
Indians watching, please let me know how I do with that. He has.
If he does get one, I'm going to find out who he is in case I ever need him. But
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been accused of making Islamophobic comments during an election rally.
yeah, it's up. He premiered it last night. It's his last video that he's posted. So
Modi said if the
he did it like 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
it would distribute citizens' wealth among what he called infiltrators and those who have more children, referring to Muslims in India.
Gotta appreciate the guys. Thanks, Indian John Hammond. And
Oh, that's uncanny.
Spot on.
and I appreciate what he's doing. I just wish that other countries would stop remaking our classics.
Vergo. Tu Jurassic Park. We understand the culture here.
There you go.
I get it. Different strokes. Just make your own. So, if you expected more mature.
Hyperlapse.
So here's the thing: the media, of course, was right away quick to condemn.
Those are cool.
Modi's comments, right? You see this from
130
CNN,
miles in 8 minutes. There you go.
Let me ask you: do you actually agree with these legacy media outlets and think his comments are racist?
Dude, that fucking
I don't believe so.
parade of fucking Dust Devils, though, it was nuts yesterday.
This is important for everyone in the Western world to understand. Let me set this actually. Let me set the stage here. Multiculturalism is a luxury only afforded to the modern world, kind of like climate policy, right? Because you have the benefit now of living in a modern society with technology. You've gone through the Industrial Revolution.
At one point, you could see like 30 of them.
The digital revolution. A lot of these other places in the world, they haven't necessarily gone through that, but no country has pulled themselves to the modern age through multiculturalism.
I mean, it was like the
They've had to do it with a clear
perfect
identity, with a clear set of values and a unified
weather
country,
for it, I think.
unified nation. And then they fracture and become a mosaic.
Trucking
It always
with
happens
Bugatti.
Rich, white, affected liberal countries. No country has ever become successful through this idea of multiculturalism. That is something that they recognize in India. And if you look into the history, you go, oh, okay, this isn't just racism. They've lived it, and they are living it. So a key fact here, first key fact is this man, Modi, super popular in India. So if you are saying that he is racist, guess what? You are saying that 75% of Indians are effectively racist.
It's higher than Malay.
Yeah.
And Malay's doing great in Argentina.
Yeah, you were like, you pointed out the one, and then you looked around, and you're like, holy shit, they're everywhere.
Another key fact, he's basically kind of make India great again. I guess if it's...
Miga.
Yeah,
Miga.
Miga. We'll make it great.
Make India.
Sometime. Maybe not, but we'll try. It will be okay.
How'd you use the soft day on that one?
He promotes Hindu culture, nationalism. And by the way, 80% of Indians are Hindu. So that matters to him, matters to seemingly a lot of Indians. And if you want to vilify him, you're vilifying the people of India who believe they should have a national identity. What happened to all cultures being equal? Here's another key fact for you. Is this man, his party, they have a pretty long history with Muslims. Let me give you some of this here. In 2021, the Indian government placed the only Muslim majority state under direct government rule. Now, you might see that, New York Times may see that and say, oh my gosh, fascism, racism. Let me get to why. They also, in 2022, banned a Muslim group. It was a Pocket Front of India for direct ties to terrorism.
That's reasonable.
It would be nice if we did that with our groups on college campus and money from Qatar, but hey, India is actually ahead of us on that. We could take some notes from India. Now, if you don't remember this, in 2008, right, there was the Mumbai terror attack.
Yeah.
Right, hostages were taken, 174 people were killed, over 300 people were injured. There's
Big
been
hands
a long
so
and
great
short
again.
history with
make flushable toilets great
I
again.
can't get into all of it, but Islam, Hinduism, right, there's been conflict. This is not something that is new to them, and so they say, hold on a second, we need to put this only Muslim majority state under control. Why? Well, because historically, if they get the power of the majority, they start killing people. And it concerns them because they've lived it. They have to live with it in India. You don't, UK or DNC here in the United States. So you say racism, they say, I watched a friend die. Or I saw what happened to my country over a period of decades, and I don't want it to happen again. They recognize the direct political threat that Islam, a political prescription, represents. Most of it, 75%. That's a lot. That includes this guy who drinks cow pee.
Here in the western state of Gujarat, cow urine is being used to treat a whole range of ailments.
Many people know that cow urine is beneficial and that it has lots of herbs in it. So, by and large, people are not reluctant to take it.
Take it?
That's my dentist.
I don't know that what he just said was true. So many people drink coffee. I don't think so. They don't know the benefits.
It has herbs in it.
What ailment? You have clinical data. What's your control group? Death?
Yeah. Look at me. Perfect health. Bring that guy back up.
Yeah.
Bring that guy back up. He's the spokesperson for the cow piss movement.
Yeah. And then they go on that special to say,
Look at that.
Top medical official.
And he is not representative of all of medicine in India.
Of course not.
They actually use medicine that works. This guy just really has a thing for cow urine.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
It's all a rumor.
What ailments does it cure? Well, thirst.
Yes.
Hunger.
Are there better options for thirst? Yes, maybe.
Yeah, there's options.
You could have something that is not cow pee.
Oh, it's so disgusting.
But
Where will you get your herbs?
I prefer cow pee.
Can I get my herbs from the herbs?
Yeah, could I just get it? Where did the
I mean,
cow
you have to
get it?
supplement your herbs.
Yeah.
You have to take a bottle of herb supplements.
Could I just?
Your water.
I'm bringing good.
And we back.
I know, I'm sorry, but when you
We're back again.
you point to your results, inflation, is down, the economy's roaring.
That spot every fucking time, man. Doesn't matter whether I'm on cell, on data, or on Wi-Fi.
Sure.
It would be kind of funny to see Trump campaigning on that, though. I had 110 million toilets in my
That's a lot
campaign.
of toilets, man. You must have had a lot of vacancies to fill.
Hey, I could use a couple more toilets myself, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Well, we don't need any more in DC. They're called the Democrat Party.
Wow.
Just imagine that 110 million new toilets. That's enough of a problem. And think about it. This is what these people need. If you're a privileged white person in the Western world, hey, you don't think about the fact that you need toilets. This is part of his platform that people like. There's nothing to fear other than shit in the streets. That we don't like. Ask not if you can shit in the street. Ask if there's a toilet nearby. Come on, we are humans.
Well, this guy's part of the movement, like we're seeing kind of the Donald Trump of, right?
Right.
He's the Donald Trump of India.
Wine made for a
He's
coffee
focusing on
cup.
trying to make
Okay.
India better. And people...
Eggsy!
He's also protecting their national identity.
Yes, and he's leaning into it.
Yeah.
He doesn't deal in guilt. That's the thing. He doesn't just sit. So to give you an idea, in this January,
You only have one toilet?
this one. Okay, hold on to your butts. He attended the dedication of.
I have two, but we only use one.
Built on the ashes of a mosque.
Oh, that's fine.
Which front of Genghis Khan rolled over in his grave and said, "That's a bit much. That's here."
What land are we going to use? I don't know. Burn that.
It's like getting married on your dead wife's grave. So here's another key fact. This brings to something that I think, there's no way around this. Islam is, it's not just incompatible with the Western, it's incompatible with non-Islamic countries. Okay, now, we've done this before. We've done the Quran challenge. Open the Quran, read 5 pages in any direction. See if you can spot.
Yeah, there you go. Stay right behind that fucking gravel hauler. See along your windshield
lamps. If you
lamps.
don't primarily believe in, for example, violence.
What foods?
Don't follow.
For what?
If you believe in actual equal rights for men and women. No, I'm not talking about privileges. I'm not talking about Title IX.
Matter.
I'm talking about a woman having the right to, drive and not be beaten.
Egg rolls. That does sound good.
Though, aside from the Quran, let's go to.
I got some tamales. I think that's what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. Some tamales.
198 million Muslims worldwide support the use of at least some violence in the realm of conflict, in the realm of people converting, in the realm of basically anyone not following lockstep with Islam. 198 million Muslims worldwide support some use of violence. The people who support use of violence strongly is still well over 50 million.
Ooh, a T-bone.
Don't cite that number or they'll kill you.
We'll
and
kill you.
In India, by contrast, Hindus there believe in ahimsa is a principle of non-violence.
I think it's just they're just painted on the shell. Egg whites.
You have to recognize that Hinduism is different from Islam, and they want to protect it. I'm not Hindu, but I also understand why Hindus might be concerned, especially again if you look at the history of the region. 3 in 4 Indian Muslims.
Actually, I've tried that.
3 in 4 Indian Muslims want Sharia courts. By the 1 in 4 is a woman, and the poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 1 bitch. So it's a little bit tough to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the wrap is just painted with egg.
Do you know what happens in Sharia court?
Yeah.
You have you were raped. How many witnesses do you have, or we may be stone you to death if you commit the crime? Oh, wait a second. You don't want to lose your children? Before we even get to no-fault divorce here in the States, he can say divorce 3 times, go to Sharia court. Good enough for us. You lose your rights, Mom. That's a Sharia court. This isn't something that white conservative conspiracy theorists have made. 3 in 4 Indians support actual Sharia courts. Are you familiar with Sharia law? Please comment below if you are. Have you seen it in practice? Are you aware of these laws? Do you know how women are treated? How do you think this pans out for LGBTQAI+?
Have you heard
a subdued rainbow?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this happened in the UK where they had Sharia law courts, like the Sharias were instituted in certain areas.
Yeah, same here. Rare to medium rare.
Back, and it's still this
the rarer side of medium rare.
Right. I don't know of any other group of people that comes in and says, we're not going to abide by your nation's laws. We're going to set up our own courts to handle this stuff. And also, by the way, you're not allowed in this part of the city that we've moved to. Right. Like, that doesn't happen. That's not somebody coming in to try to be a part of your society. That's somebody coming in to take over your society.
Right.
And these guys, let's just be clear, too. India and Pakistan have never been friends. No. These guys are going to fight until the earth ends at some point.
Effectively.
Yes, and Muslim, Hindu population. And
well done.
Nuclear thing. Like, they're probably the first to pop it off.
That's kind of a big deal. A lot of people haven't really taken into consideration. Also notice with Islamic countries.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
I had one of those last Friday, by the way, a ruined one. Ordered it medium rare and got it. What the hell number is this? Let's see. Hello?
Hi, I was looking to speak to Rachel.
You have the wrong number.
Oh, sorry about that. You have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Muslim majority
fucking nurse, man, that had this work number. Hey, Jedi.
In the last century, that has had a decade and a half of basic enjoyment of human rights, civility, nonviolence. You can't. Bikinis in Iran in the 70s, great. That didn't last long.
No.
It never does. This is not the exception with Islam. Once it achieves power,
this is Rachel.
The rule. Let's be clear about that. And in India, they've lived it. They're concerned about it. And I just, it gets...
Play the game, Andy.
You see a bunch of Americans going, this is intolerant, I can't believe this.
I think she was. I really do.
Some time there. Are you aware of what a Sharia court is? And let's even go to...
That was a fucking traveling nurse that had this, my work number before me, and literally I've had this number for 3 years now. Oh yeah, obvious Scally, yeah.
Israel on October 7th. Not they don't like Israel and they think
Dude,
it should be a two-state solution. 60%
I still get
American
pictures of her DoorDash deliveries.
Was justified attacking Israel on October 7th. Meaning they've seen the attack.
Say, bitch, how are you still ordering stuff with the wrong number in your DoorDash account?
Say,
and I found out why I lost my TikTok too, because of her. Because her number was attached to it. Or my number was attached to it that used to be hers. Had nothing to do with me.
because you said that you support.
But I also attached my email to it, so I can't even use my streaming email.
There were quite a few.
They're afraid of that. Afraid to take that poll.
They're afraid to take that poll. I was in Canada.
Just for handies.
And, I watched some people cheer. They were happy about it.
That's insane.
The guy came into school. He had an I Plane New York shirt with me instead of the heart, and I got in deep trouble because I read in the riot act and we almost came to fisticuffs. This was in Greenfield Park, outside of Montreal. Now in the UK, 46% of UK Muslims are pro-Hamas in general. 46%. 46% is bad enough. 60% supporting actually.
It
the October
is,
7th attack.
and I'm just waiting for the opportunity to do these.
46 and
After the
60.
stop sign.
Think about that for a second.
There should be single-digit numbers. They shouldn't exist, but if they do exist, they should be
Zippy-doo-doo-dah.
single-digit numbers, and we should be able to point to them like the Westboro Baptists and say, they don't represent us.
Right.
Unfortunately,
I'm pro hummus too,
they do
man. With some
represent
pita,
you, Islam.
pita
This is the
chips,
problem
hell
that they
yeah.
have. And in
Or
India,
just some
they're
regular
dealing
pita.
with
I preferred fried
communities
pita,
of the
but
country right next door, they have first-hand experience. It's like the issue with the border.
well, I don't generally
People in
try and
New
stay
York
behind those
are
guys
about,
anyway.
you know, make sure people come to this country. It's totally fine. Don't do anything.
Fucking
with the
that's
border. People
all.
in
Every little
Texas,
chip.
California,
The fake
Mexico
moon on
say,
my
"Wait a minute,
stream
we
here
see
is
the problem. Let's bring
well, the
problems
clouds
to your
are
front door and
obstructing
see if
it,
your
but-
attitude changes. Chicago,
Oh,
New
good,
York, San
boring.
Francisco, your attitude's changing quite a bit. That's why
Oh.
India is where they are. Yeah. And as much as I don't like what the Chinese are doing to the Uyghurs, that's why China is where they are. Right. They're doing it in a bad way, but they're also protecting their national identity from the threat that they're seeing with Islam. Now, for them, they just don't want to lose control of the elites in China. So that's a bad thing. But this guy's saying, hey, popular elections, let's vote. By the way, you guys can't just have free stuff coming into our country. Right. Calls them invaders.
Yes, he does.
This is their kind of border issue to some degree. People coming in.
Damn, there's a lot of gravel haulers around too. Look at this.
Don't give a crap about the culture and want
big
to
ass one.
take over. You have to put a stop to it.
He's turning.
I wish these people didn't.
He turned.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's a good.
They're all leaving. They're all. What you guys? It's all great. You want to spread that? Why?
Right?
Yeah.
Stop leaving it.
Right.
You guys don't want to be together. Hang out, homie.
They want the luxuries afforded to them by an enlightened society without actually living in it, and then they want to change.
Tearing it down. Literally tearing it down.
It's like some of the Californians who moved to Texas. They flee California.
I like the little packets of
When they
hummus.
say they want to bring the
little
policies that
dippers.
fled to Texas. Now, not most.
Oh yeah,
most of the
baklava.
Californians
Fuck
come
yeah.
back. They're pretty reasonable. They're
I
not
feel like they made it to safe ground.
They feel like they made it safe ground. But every now and then
We
you
just
run
had
into
some baklava
California.
the other day.
Yeah, I left California. Oh, why?
A couple weeks ago.
Well, there was no more. There were no more job opportunities. I had to come here for work. But I really miss. And they go down the list of things that led to no job opportunities. Let's take this number, 46%. I wouldn't even take the 60 who supported Hamas. Hey, feminists, if 46% of men supported beating women, would that be a problem?
You're too male.
If 46% of Trump voters supported actually bombing Congress, would that be a problem?
I'm eating a Speedway McGriddle.
46% supported in Charlottesville, as opposed to saying not neo-Nazis,
Speedway
not
McGriddle.
white supremacists, running someone over with a Dodge Challenger, would that be a problem? Because all of those things pale in comparison to the October 7th attacks, and that's a 60% number. Let alone 46% in the UK who just support Hamas in general.
Yeah.
To me, what's so shocking about that is that poll was framed in a way to give you an out. Like, hey, I bet you the poll taker thought, you know what, I'm gonna carry the water. Do you just support everything about Hamas? Yes. You don't have to support everything. I can put you down as no. And 46% were like, check the Y box.
The guy's like,
Fuck is
the guy's
that?
like, say no. Come on, just say no.
My auto translate's
I'm
not
marking that as a
working.
maybe. Yes.
They had a more nuanced question. I'm like,
Is that like a Greek dish?
Result. We don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Now remember, if you say yes, you support them. You also support rape,
Tits are nice.
violence for no reason, anti-Semitism, genocide. Oh, still yes.
Still, that's
Okay.
I am very
She's
white.
back.
So, the point, and you can comment below. You talk about this with climate change policy, right? Where, hey, to you, gas prices going up $1.50, doubling. It sucks. It's inconvenient. In rural parts of Mexico, people die because their entire life is about eating, sustaining themselves, usually trying to afford some kind of usable energy. Happens all across South America, happens across Asia, right? If energy costs go up, they die. So it's a luxury for, an electric car? Well, most people don't have the money to buy a brand new electric car. Purchase carbon offsets? Must be nice. Al Gore, when you fly first class or fly private. Same thing here. Multiculturalism is a luxury that is only afforded to those in the United States, in the UK, from nations that have propelled themselves into the modern era without multicultural. And then we fracture, and then we do ourselves from within. That's pretty much any empire, any great nation, any formidable foe. They have to have a unified identity. The thing is, in the United States, it's not based on a race. It's based on a series of ideas. How do we know? We wrote them down. Isn't that great? Multiculturalism cannot create a great nation. It's not a luxury that a place like India can afford right now when most of their country lives in abject poverty to the point where a campaigning issue is more toilets. They're not concerned about your pride parade and multicultural. So people of India, at least 75% of you, we hear you. We get it. This is a legitimate gripe. Do not listen to the legacy media outlets who are trying to browbeat you for your concern of your own personal safety and the future of your family. Makes sense? I don't know everything about this prime minister, but you know what? From what I know, hey, seems to be headed in the right direction. This has been Eye on India. All right, we have our guest coming up here in a few minutes, David Robinson. Not that one. Different one. Possibly best looking guy ever. Can someone bring up David Robinson in his uniform?
Yeah. We have it.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, bring it up.
Well, I don't know if we have it right now.
No, we don't have it. You spoke out of turn.
No, they had it out there. I saw it out there, so they'll be able to send it in.
Wow.
Oops.
And this man, though, David Robinson, is going to be providing for the first time today an exclusive look at this in-depth report of TikTok and how they are using your data and the risk that they actually pose. Now, to be clear, no one here wants TikTok, at least as far as to be banned. That's not what we're pushing for.
No. We're just making sure that they can't send data back to the Chinese Communist Party. Americans' consumer data, and then also, bank account information apparently from TikTokers. We'll read about that too.
We'll talk about that. It is. Look
See?
at that.
Come on, that guy.
That's straight out of Central Cast.
He would never fit in a sub, though.
No, he would not.
Got to stay on the deck of a carrier,
Or walk like an L the whole way.
Yeah, exactly. He's 7'1".
And he doesn't have the weird proportions that a lot of tall guys have.
No.
He just looks like a jacked tall guy. Good for him.
I didn't think he was 7'1". I had to be corrected. Ginger Snap was like, no, he's like 7'2". And I'm like, no, he's not. I was thinking like 6'11".
He was a tall dude.
7'1".
Good player. Thick stash, too. None of this happens without you, of course. LateralCoder.com/welcome. This exclusive report that we have here today, the undercover unit. Of course, you get a whole extra 100% of show. You get Nick DiPaolo every day. You get everything that comes with Mug Club. But none of this happens without you because we are not funded by a foreign caliphate. Let's go to foreign interference here. Last night, the Senate
Galactic burrito.
Massive foreign package, $60 billion to Ukraine. It's just funny to me that was the border bill, and now it's just let's just give them the money anyway. And then they also said, let's sprinkle in kind of this TikTok ban.
On this vote, the yeas are 79, the nays are 18. The motion to concur in the House amendment to the Senate amendment to H.R. 815 is agreed to.
Our allies around the world have been watching Congress for the last 6 months and wondering the same thing. When it matters most, will America summon the strength to come together, overcome the centrifugal pull,
and give fucking more money to other countries? Yay!
This moment. Tonight, under the watchful eye of history, the Senate answers this question with a thunderous...
I think that same building should be used for the Nuremberg 2.0 trials.
No, wait, sorry. TikTok, it was a part of it. But they were talking about giving your money for more foreign conflicts. I'm sorry, wait,
They just rolled these things together.
I think we have a video that is relating to kind of a big deal. Let's see.
The Senate passed a bill that could either ban or force the sale of TikTok. Now, the House passed it on Saturday. It was packaged with foreign aid for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. That bill now heads to President Biden's desk, and he's expected to sign it tomorrow.
There should be some kind of a law in the books that just says, well, you can't just put in one thing, 60 billion to Ukraine and 21 billion, whatever it is, to Israel and Gaza collectively. I believe the number, I guess it was Israel's 15 billion and another 9 billion to Gaza. You can't just put that in and then kind of as a footnote, you know, the TikTok issue. It's kind of a big deal.
Things together.
People are going to ask questions. You have to do it separately. Doesn't that make, comment below, wouldn't that make sense to say, no, separate? Bill to give 60 billion to Ukraine. Oh, that's right. They do it because they try and sandwich something in between something that is actually popular and has support, and then put
I agree.
Not have the majority of support. So to give you an idea, again, we talked about this before.
No more omnibus bills. No more omnibus bills.
The company, some kind of United States-based company, or one that actually follows these protocols, parameters that have been laid out, or they're just going to be banned in the U.S. app stores. Right.
Much like when you get pregnant.
9 months.
You get 9 months to sell it.
I've forgotten about that.
No, is that not how it works?
Effectively, yeah. I mean, it depends if it's a good-looking baby or not.
Find out later, you got 8 months to sell it.
If the baby looks like David Robinson, you fetch a pretty penny.
Hey, you can sell it whenever.
I like him.
Looks like me? No, it's going to be a TJ turn.
Yeah.
So
that Two-Face is going to be...
It's crawling, so I'm just going to go.
This is something else that I know people have sort of made this center just on censorship, and we had Vivek on to talk about this, but there's a new report. This is from a 2023 report, by the way, by a cybersecurity firm. It's called Malcore. David Robinson is going to be here. TikTok was by far, the least secure, most at-risk app on the market. That means that Gerald's Grindr profile is more secure than yours, TikTok. Which,
yeah, look at you, handsome man. Get out there, boys. Find him.
Not 52, and also not on Grindr.
Looking for a strong.
Well, we just saw that you are on Grindr. You're gonna lie to us right here in studio, Gerald? We can clearly see you're on Grindr.
It's wrong to lie.
I mean, you lied on your profile. That's even worse too. You should be telling these young men that you're more wise and older.
You're giving them false hope. You're poisoning their little gay souls.
Yeah, they've got all these twinks have this old man fantasy, and you're just teasing them.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not 50.
I love how it's a very, very flattering picture.
It was actually.
It is.
Oh, thank you.
And also horribly humbling. So,
jeez,
it's like it could have been worse. Where it's like a really unflattering.
Gotta love these Michigan
Reds.
Reds.
Very good.
You do look like for 52.
Yeah, you look like a really good-looking 52-year-old who puts it up together well, who likes to be banked by guys.
I'm none of.
It's Grindr, Gerald.
Do. I look. Thank you for saying that. I disagree with the rest, though.
Yeah, and I know what some people are saying, like, hey, are you insulting someone by insinuating that they may be a homosexual?
A little bit. Well, doesn't make me hate.
It's funny because it's Gerald.
Yeah, it's funny because it's Gerald. You know, also it's funny because gay sometimes is funny. Is that okay with you? We don't care. So here now with a first look at Malcore's 2024 report, and this is exclusive. No one has seen this yet. We're going to be discussing TikTok, the issues, the cybersecurity issues. Malcore's CEO, David Robinson. Let's bring him on.
You must be way behind, Lexi.
All right, I almost said Mr. Malcore. Mr. Robinson, can
want to hit
you
live.
hear us, sir? How are you?
I've got you, Stephen. You guys got me loud and clear?
Yes, we do. I appreciate that you have the hoodie that says the name of your company so that people don't miss it.
Well, I've got to rep the brand one shot, right?
Well, it's going to be competing. It's going to be competing with the lower third that we had prepared that also says Malcore. But tell us a little bit for people who don't know before we get to this report, which is very alarming from what you've told us. Tell me about your company and how you got wrapped up with this TikTok issue for people who don't know.
Yeah,
making big
boobs. First, thanks for having me. I think it's a hey ho. I just got back from actually, and there was a fat lady singing because it's been quite a few years.
Yeah.
We've been, it's a mini war for TikTok, existential for them. I'm still alive though. We've been writing reports about TikTok for the last 3 to 4 years.
Exy's way behind.
2022 was our major report that basically got pushed into the Australian media and then globally. A lot of organisations, governments.
I'm literally done eating that sandwich.
That report, which really brought to light the data collection issues, privacy issues, how TikTok basically, in their sort of
through this new 2024 report that people watching right now have not seen. This is now going to be available to the world. We've made it available. Loudescrowder.com, and of course, full credit.
Self-rewinding tape recorder.
And check you guys out the work. Walk us through it, and how does it compare to the other reports? How is it different? What are you measuring the metrics? Because this can get a little nerdy, for people who don't necessarily follow it. 2024 report.
Yeah.
What is it?
So we have Malcore is basically a malware analysis platform where we can put any phone app into it, and it spits out all the permissions, all the code severity warnings, all the things that are in the app and how it acts, basically. So our platform.
This is actually Michigan.
Based on the software development kits.
Southern Michigan, Monroe County. Telegraph Road.
Given or not, and we basically print those scores. We printed them in 2023. Your FCC loved that report, that methodology, and our 2024.
I start off in Ohio though.
2024 report is now out. TikTok had the highest score in 2023. In 2024, to be honest, they've done a great work trying to reduce their permissions, but they unfortunately still came out with a score of 60, double the industry average.
Okay, so let me ask this: what makes TikTok, because we see that with the other apps, what makes TikTok more dangerous or more of a concern than the other apps out there? Because you hear the argument from other people just saying, well, this is just censorship because all of them do this, but there's obviously a difference. We see that metric. People may not have context. TikTok is a more significant threat. Why?
So the biggest thing that happened in our 2022 report that basically really slammed the door was device mapping. So in 2022, when we analyzed the app, TikTok could map a device. So it basically was collecting all the running apps, all the apps installed on the device. So when you can basically pull all the contacts, access to calendar, you continually tried to get access to the contacts when you had the app installed, and then it was able to access the phone. It's basically like a phone.
Yeah, I mean, it was close to noon, or I mean, it's close. Breakfast is almost over with there.
And then in 2023,
so it was like half price. So yeah, I guess full price would have been about $3
compared to industry. And so this is
when I get there later, usually they're out of them.
That has access to the metadata or the advertising data. So software development kits is like an install.
Plus, I guess I get like an extra 50%, 50 cents off because of Speedway card.
Into your app. Facebook can actually get some of that advertising data. So TikTok had the most. They had every single software development kit. VK Contact, which is a Russian owned organization. It used to be a company, but now it's controlled by the FSB inside their app.
Dude.
Hold on a second, because this is something.
You must be way behind, Eggsy.
They can map your whole phone.
Somebody type that in chat for them.
Cookies, I accept cookies, and so they follow me, let's say, in my browser to maybe advertise. Like, I'm looking for swim trunks, and then, hey, what do you know, swim trunks. You're saying this phone mapping, they can basically backdoor, if I'm getting this correctly, and get access to pretty much everything in your phone, any running apps, your contacts. Effectively, they get a scan of your personal information.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word backdoor. I'd use the word scan, basically, of the phone. Yeah.
And is this something? Now, again, this doesn't exist in a vacuum. Do all apps do that? Is that the norm?
Please, somebody type in chat.
Well,
for
it's a
Eggsy to
social media
hit
company,
live.
and their job is to give funny videos and provide advertising data. There's no reason for them to collect every single app that's running on your phone.
Right.
If they're providing a high quality cat videos.
Well, yes. And look, two things can be true. They provide high quality cat videos, and also, there's potential communist interference. That begs the question: why would China care about the data of an 18 to 25-year-old? That's their key demo TikTok. Like, why would they want to scan their entire phone?
So, friends in the intelligence community have basically said to me that China is the biggest purchaser of commercial data in America. So they are buying and collecting a significant number en masse of data of Americans. We saw this in a project we did called the Zenwire Data Leak, an entire Chinese company dedicated to tracking Americans and pulling as much social data as they can off them. They are a huge data collector from a perspective, and the reason why they want to collect it is, okay, you're a teenager, you don't really care if TikTok has your data or what's going on in your phone. but they can pull every single contact. So they have basically a social map of every single contact in that phone. So if they're collecting every single contact list of every single group of people, and they can
Cancel. What the fuck? What the fuck's going on? He said the G word. It woke Google up.
Who are missing this? I know your report is available. ByteDance has direct ties to the CCP. There's a difference between someone in Silicon Valley, though it's a problem, having access to your purchasing preferences, and a company, this is the reason for this bill right now, directly linked to the CCP, having access to all of your personal contacts. People out there may say, oh, we don't really know
buddy.
connect to the CCP.
I've been answering your questions, and then I realized by your questions that you had to be way behind. You're asking about the sandwich. I finished that 10 minutes ago.
Algorithms are everything. So all that data, great algorithms, you know, AI, it's a disaster waiting to happen.
Well, not only that, my thought is, right, you have a foreign government who has access to this information, okay? And then if they have a preference in an election, you have all these contacts. When people talk about the Epstein list, think about the leverage and the blackmail. I mean, just think of what happened with Anthony Weiner and the leverage that they tried to apply there, right? That was a big deal. Think about, obviously, Eric Swalwell. Though he still has a job, I don't know why. Right away, I don't just go to algorithms.
No worries, no worries.
And tech.
It was about $3 if I'd have paid full price.
Could select who they want to blackmail or apply leverage to if they have all of your personal contact information.
Yeah, it's twice the size of a McDonald's one.
This actually brings up the Zenwire data leak again.
For half the price.
There's evidence of Chinese companies actively, their entire business model, building those types of databases. So buying that type of data.
That is terrifying. Captain Morgan, you had a question.
Yeah, so I was just curious, when you said on the phone mapping, first, that's very shocking. It takes a minute to get over that. But second, do they, as opposed to just having information to contacts, which is, you know, bad enough as is, do they have like access to text messages, any of the content of those text messages that are on your phone, any other data that might be there, emails, things like that?
To be honest, probably not. They probably don't have access to text messages. But if you are texting in the chat function of TikTok, probably.
Right. What's the relationship between TikTok and we've heard about this Telegram and, like you just mentioned, this sort of Russian FSB?
So Ukraine is having a massive argument about whether they should ban Telegram, just like you guys are talking about TikTok. But I think you guys are way more successful in banning apps because, you know, only India and America really have had this type of debate and successfully pushed legislation through. But Telegram is a massive Russian language app. It is run by a guy called Pavel. He lives in Dubai, and he basically says that he basically created VK Contact and says he had to flee Russia because VK Contact was taken over by Russian security services.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a desktop stream too when I get to work.
Ukraine is trying to ban Telegram because they think it's a threat to their population, because Pavel originates from Russia and there's a lot of accusations there. He says that VK Contact was taken from him by the Russian security services, and that's why he now lives in Dubai. And VK Contact is a software development kit installed into TikTok's software development kits. So it's kind of like the ultimate triangle of love there, well, you say?
Yeah, well, wouldn't the counter argument maybe be because Telegram is, you know, encrypted and a lot of people have used it, right, for that reason, that they think it's more secure as opposed to, for example, a court just saying, all right, we're going to grab everything on your phone. That maybe Ukraine would want to be banning Telegram because they would want to have more access to people's personal information as opposed to something encrypted. Would there be a valid claim for pro-Telegram people there to make?
Yeah, it's not really encryption, it's more disinformation.
Yeah, I'll be ending this one here.
Telegram. So it's more the information environment domain. It's the same reason for TikTok. There's no, it's not.
I'll go live from the desktop.
Collecting data in a sense. There are huge amounts of influence occurring on populations from authoritarian regimes, and if they can control an app and can influence your elections, influence your population, then it's an existential threat during these kind of very pressure situations like an election.
They call it Michigan Works in Michigan.
If you
And I work with them pretty closely, actually.
disinformation. So that's the kind of
One of my jobs is a staffing company, so.
Well, I would say,
All right, guys.
You know what? I would be concerned if
Later. Thanks for riding with me.
What is disinformation or what
Nice to have someone to chat with while I'm driving. I appreciate it.
and COVID a little bit.
Peace. We'll see you in a bit
I would be
on the main channel.
I would be certainly. I'd have to pause there.